Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eunice from School of Nursing and also the president of PolyU Toastmaster Club. Today, I would like to introduce a very, very special person to you all. He is a musician, but also an exchange student studying in PolyU on BBA. Today, I will be chatting with him on creating music, visuals, and also studying in PolyU. Let's welcome Richard Henry from Janice Prix. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So, first of all, welcome. How's your day so far?
To be honest, not much. Yeah, I haven't done much more than coming here. So, yeah.
So, can you please briefly introduce yourself to our dearly audience?
Yeah, I'm Richard Henry. I'm from Sweden, and I'm the guy you've been seeing here on the screen. So, yeah, I'm a singer and I'm a songwriter in the band Janice Prix. We're from Sweden, and normally I live in Gothenburg, Sweden, but right now I live here in Hong Kong because I'm here as an exchange student. Yeah.
So I heard that you're from a band called Janice Prix. So why is it Janice Prix? What is the inspiration behind the name?
Yeah, I mean, we've been asked that question many times, but never come up with a great answer. But I think it comes from a place where we wanted one of the words in the band name to be a French, cool-sounding word, just like Depeche Mode, Scott. So I think we were very inspired by Depeche Mode at the time we were coming up with the band name. Yeah.
So let's know more about the band. How do you guys get started? Is it from high school, from friendship, or anything else?
Far from friendship, I would say, because me and Victor, who started the band, we started out more like enemies. I wouldn't say that we were part of rival gangs or anything, but we were part of different group of friends that didn't care that much for each other. So we started out not disliking each other, and then one day I think we wore like the same band T-shirt. So we realized we were into the same kind of music. And then we started to talk, and I knew that he played the guitar, and I wanted to learn how to play the guitar. And so we became friends, and then we decided to start a band. Yeah, so that's the background. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So Janice Prix, how do you guys get had an idea of turning the hobby, I would say hobby, into a real career? How do you guys get the inspiration or idea to turn it into?
It's a good question. I don't think it's something that you just decide, like, okay, now we're gonna go professional. But it was a gradual process, I think. We gradually learned that more people than ourselves were interested in the music, and it got more serious and serious, and we got to a point where we realized that other people within the industry were interested, so like management and booking agents and record labels and stuff like that. So it was a gradual process, but we were ambitious, of course. We are ambitious, so yeah.
I see. So, and then now you're releasing your new single. Did you have any take part in the writing process, or you're just the singer of the band?
No, I write the music together with the rest of the band. Yeah.
I see.
So yeah, but it would be nice to be just the singer, because sometimes we end up in a fight where we like, okay, we're gonna go with this song or no this song, and my idea is better than your idea, and yeah. So sometimes it would be nice if I was just the singer. Yeah.
But at that process, there are some sparks of ideas, right, while you argue or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that we help each other to bring forth the best idea. There's some sort of brotherly competition within the band. So if Michael or Victor or Martin comes up with a great idea, the next day I want to come up with something that beats that idea. So I think it's like a healthy kind of competition. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. In every teamwork, healthy competition is a must, I would say, so that you can improve and be a better band, I would say. So let's talk about the newest single, Stone Love. Let's take a look at the single cover. This single, how do you feel about it? About writing this, performing this, anything how are you feeling right now overall?
I'm proud of the song, of course. I think we're proud of all our releases, of course. But I think that song in particular were written and produced and recorded during a very unstable time of the band because it was right in the middle of the pandemic and we were kind of uncertain about the future of the band and when things would get back to normal so we could go out and play live and stuff like that. So yeah, there were some internal tensions within the band, and I think it really affected the sound of the song because it's a bit more gritty, a bit more dark than maybe the rest of our songs. Yeah.
Actually, I feel like when I listen to most of your songs, I realize there is a sound of it. It's dark, but at the same time, it has a hint of hope, of light. Is it a sound that you want to achieve in most of your song, or is it a style of your music?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think it's a fly.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. I lost my train of thought now. No, I don't think it's deliberately like that we want to combine a dark element with a sense of hope. I don't think so. Maybe it's the lyrics and the themes are usually pretty, gloomy and pretty dark. And this one likes me. And then combined with maybe that some melodies are big and bombastic, maybe is a sense of hope in some way. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's not deliberately that way anyway.
I see. So while writing for this single, I just want to ask, will this single be included in your sequel album, or is it just a single?
We haven't decided that yet, but chances are it will be included
I
on
hope
the album.
so. I would love to hear it on the next sequel album. Is the album ready, or are you just still preparing it, or is it still in the writing process?
That's always hard to know. I mean, we have a lot of songs, we have a lot of ideas. So right now the process is more like deciding which idea, which demo to really finish. And that's also a struggle to prioritize because I maybe like this idea more and I like that demo more. So it's more of a process of choosing our favorites. So but we have a lot of songs and there are some songs ready for release also. We will be releasing more music in December and January and February, I guess. So
well, that's great.
Yeah,
That's really great. So while preparing for this sequel album, I would say you're in the whole midst of pandemic of COVID-19, and now you're in Hong Kong, but your band is based in Sweden. So how do you guys get through of these obstacles, or should I call it obstacles?
It's more like a vacation for me to
Come to Hong Kong.
Yeah, to skip those guys for a while. No, not really. I mean, with all the technology today, you can stay in touch very easily, like Zoom each other, and I think that that's also the process when we're all together back in Gothenburg, because it's we send ideas back and forth using Dropbox or whatever. Yeah, no sponsorship there. Yeah, so using Dropbox or whatever and sending ideas back and forth and having meetings like remote through Zoom and stuff like that. So the only difference is maybe the time difference. So that we have to account for the time difference, of course. That's a challenge, of course. Yeah.
Yes, I see. So internet does help a lot of music production throughout the pandemic. I know artists who love doing Zoom sessions while they all sit together. Seems like they're sitting in the same room and do Zoom sessions together. But at the same time, when you're out in the Starbucks, you may see artists or musicians doing their music with their own laptops. So everything is so much simplified. But at the same time, it never simplified the creative process of creating music. So what is your inspiration behind all those creation? Or do you have a routine of creating those?
It's a fun thing, about creativity and to be inspired and stuff like that. I think it's bogus in one way. Like it's not really, if you just rely on, okay, I'm gonna write a song today because I'm inspired, or I'm gonna go to the studio today because I'm inspired. I have some sense of creativity. Then you wouldn't have an album like that. Of course, it would take so much time. So I think you really have to have some kind of routine, even if it sounds a bit dull. you have to have a routine, and you have to have your time slots. Like, okay, I'm going to go to the studio between these hours, and we have a deadline on this and this and this. So it's we try to have a more professional structure and be very disciplined in most aspects. But that is actually what can bring forth the creativity, because if you drag yourself to the studio, even though you're maybe tired or you're not inspired, once you're in the studio, things could happen. So you just have to expose yourself to those situations where you put yourself. You have to create those in order to be struck by inspiration. Yeah. I think it's an example. I'm not sure if you heard about ABBA, the band ABBA. We have two Swedes in the back. They know who ABBA is anyway. Benny Andersson, one of the songwriters and one of the guys in the band, he said that inspiration or creativity is like a dragon. And a dragon lives within a cage. No, not a cage, cave. Yeah, inside a cave. And it only comes out once in a while. Very seldom the dragon comes out and you can catch it, which is like a metaphor for the inspiration. But you have to sit outside that cave every day.
Just wait.
And wait and wait and wait. So yeah, I think it makes sense that you have to create those moments and be very disciplined in your work, because you don't really know when inspiration or that kind of magic will happen when you come up with a great melody or
Yes, definitely. Inspiration is fun. For me, as a public speaker, most of the time when ideas hit, I'll do notepads, I'll write it down. Do you have any methods for you to record or to mark down any inspiration? Do you have a notepad all the time to write down all the lyrics?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's not only in the studio where I work. Sometimes you could just, be heading to a lecture, be heading to a dinner with friends, whatever, and then you just, for some reason, hum on a melody like, and then I use my phone a lot. Yeah, so I have like the voice memo. It's filled to the brim. So I use the voice memo a lot on my phone, and then if I, come up with like a cool line, like lyrics, I have, Dropbox paper, of course, filled. Once again, not sponsored by Dropbox.
That's fine. And for inspiration, speaking of inspiration, it's always magic, I would say, magical. And actually, recently, an American singer, Taylor Swift, she just released an album called Midnights. She said, all of the inspiration that come from dreams, midnight thoughts, and lots of artists actually experienced it. Have you ever had any experience on dream about producing a music, and then when you wake up the next morning, do what you can do with that inspiration? Have you ever tried having that experience?
Well, sure. Many times I've dreamt of, okay, this is a great song, and then I wake up and, oh, fuck. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure if I can swear here. But I haven't been able to, actually remember the melody or the words from the dream, just that it was like, okay, this was a masterpiece or whatever.
Just a feeling, right?
Yeah, so I wake up and everything's gone.
Oh, but I actually have tried once, because as a speaker, I do a lot of speech. When I'm in the shower thoughts hit. When I'm in the dream kind of simulate the whole environment of me doing the speech. But the next morning, I forgot everything, which is sometimes I feel like it is a pity. And yes, inspiration is magical most of the time.
Yeah, it's unpredictable, but that's
Definitely.
what makes it special. Yeah.
Yeah, so how long does it take for you to write a song? Because I don't know that some artists, when they have the inspiration, they can finish the whole song in 6 minutes, which is insane. How long does it take for you from the very head start until the end of the production? How long does it take to finish a whole song?
Oh.
Or you just keep coming back to the production phrase, trying to refine it?
I guess production and mixing and mastering, I think that's the most similar in terms of on how much time it takes for each song. But the writing process, it's really depends. It could be, you could finish the backbone of a song within just 1 minute if you have a great idea. And sometimes you have maybe just a small trace of a great idea, and you won't let it go, and you just keep working with it, working,
Developing
and
it.
yeah, so it could take years maybe. So yeah, it really depends. It's yeah, it's a strange process because you can't really measure it. You don't really know how much time anything will take. But the mixing and production are somewhat alike. But of course, I mean, but actually, I'm not the one that should answer that because Michael in the band, he's the guy behind the computer. So he's like the one doing all the mixing and the production. So I guess if he was answering the question, he would say that it would differ a lot in time too. Yeah.
I see, I see. So, speaking of producing music, I realized that, and I noticed that nowadays music tends to lean onto the trends. What is your least favorite trends right now, speaking on music? For me, is music getting shorter and shorter. Right now, music can last for like 2 minutes, and that's it. Having a catchphrase in it, and it can be a hit. What do you think about it?
Well, I think a lot of music today is written with the purpose of doing well on TikTok. So you sing a song about like an orange, an orange, an orange, and then you can do videos where you bounce like oranges around and stuff like that. So that becomes a trend. So I think there's a deliberate way of writing songs today when you actively try to be a TikTok trend, because that makes money and you get exposure and yeah, whatever. But we're not really into that thing. So I think that's my least favorite trend in today's music, that everything is written using the same formula almost.
I see, I see. So, speaking of trends, actually, visual album is a trend right now. They are trying to make every singles or every song on the album, transform it into a music video, and make it a visual album. And I noticed that lots of your video align with your album. Like you're releasing videos one after the cover, and now you just released your newest music video for the new single, Stone Love. So are you trying to make as much videos as you can, or do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we try to make as much as we can. We make all the videos ourselves, it's a question of what you prioritize. But we'd like to have some kind of visual for every release. It doesn't have to be a full-on music video, but maybe like a lyric video or something that you can use when promoting the song on social media, because you need, I think people today, to grasp people's attention on social media, you have to have some kind of visual. So yeah, I think we have a strategy to use some kind of visual for every release. Yeah.
So talk about music videos. Do you have a team behind all those filming, production, or do you guys singly handle it by yourselves?
Some videos we have done collaborations before, but as of now, I think we've invested in like good cameras and stuff like that. And Michael has been learning how to use the camera, and Victor too. I tend to be the one, in front of the camera, which is, not my favorite thing to do maybe. But so yeah, they're really good at what they're doing, and but we come up with the ideas and for the videos and ourselves. Yeah. So, but we made like a active choice to invest in some good equipment rather than just spending a lot of money on one director and just have one video. So I think that looking back, I think we made the right decision, because now we have some kind of visual for everything. Maybe people like it, maybe people don't like it, but at least we did it ourselves, and we can, we could claim it as being,
Your own assets.
your own
right?
assets. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Speaking of visual, I see there is a cover art. And who designed it? I love it so much.
Yeah, it's actually Victor, the drummer.
Oh,
So, yeah,
is he a
we-
graphic designer? Because this looks very professional.
He, well, yeah, you could say he's a graphic. He's a jack of all trades, I would say. Yeah, I mean, he's the best graphic designer within the band, so that's why he does that, I guess. Yeah, but he's very talented, and I like his work. Yeah.
Definitely. I love his work too. And I really hope that he can keep on designing more and more cover art. And speaking of cover art, have you ever tried to collaborate with different artists on designing these kind of cover arts?
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
We have for our debut album. We collaborated with a guy called Marcus Åkesson, a fellow Swede. And yeah, he's an artist, and just by coincidence, Michael in the band, he went to an exhibition, and he saw this amazing artwork, and it was right about that time we were trying to find some kind of artwork for the album. And so he snapped a lot of photos for the band, and he said like, okay, maybe we should try to get in touch with this guy, see if we can do some kind of collaboration. And yeah, so Michael contacted him, and then we struck a deal. And luckily for us, he liked our music, so that's why he agreed to for us to use his artwork. Yeah.
That's great. Let's take a look at it. Can you please hand me the album? This is the artwork that you have been talking about, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I see that there is a girl with a... I don't know what that is, actually. Do you know the inspiration behind this cover art?
I haven't asked Marcus, but for me, it's just a great,
It matched the vibes of their album.
It's thought-provoking. You don't really know what's going on, and yeah, so yeah, we're just happy for him to allowing us to use his artwork. Yeah.
It definitely leaves us some space to think about the inspiration behind it and the meaning behind it. So talk about collaboration. Have you ever tried to collaborate with anyone here in PolyU? Because we do have School of Design. They have great designers. Have you ever tried to contact them and collaborate with them?
Not yet, but I would be open to, of course, because there's a lot of talent here at PolyU. So yeah, I'd love to.
Definitely.
Yeah,
so talk about PolyU. How is your study life here? Is it headache, or do you feel like it's so much easier than back in your hometown or anything, studying here in PolyU?
Oh.
Will you miss here? Will you miss it?
What I will miss here?
Yeah, will you?
Yeah, I mean the people and everyone at PolyU is very polite, very helpful in every sense. But to answer the first question, yeah, I think it's a bit, yeah, we're used to another kind of education back home in Sweden. So in some sense, it's a bit easier here. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in PolyU, I do know that you're producing music at the same time while you're studying. But have you ever tried to reach out to anyone so that you can use the studio here, or do you have a chance to use the studio here in BC 401?
Yeah, so right here, yeah, the studio here. I've been using it since I came here. I mean, straight away when I knew that I was coming here to Hong Kong, I reached out to ESP and to Anthony and asked if I would be eligible for using the studio as an exchange student, and also I'm at the Faculty of Business. So yeah, so I asked, and yeah, very politely, very supporting Anthony, like, yeah, of course, and you can do this and you can do that. So yeah, very much appreciate the support from ESP, and yeah, some of the stuff we're releasing now with the band has been produced here from BC 401, 406, 401?
401 or 406.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So I have been using that studio for a few time. I've been doing voiceover there, and because I don't know much about studio, but I do feel like it's a very cozy place. What do you feel about it? Is it a good facility, or it does what it does, right? Or when you compare with the studio that you use back in hometown, do you feel there is any difference, or?
Yeah, there are differences, of course, but this studio is perfect for creating demos and for writing songs and producing songs and do some kind of recordings. Of course, we have some preferences back home in our own studio because we built it ourselves. So we have a lot of gear that is specifically targeted to serve our purposes. So it's a bit different, of course, in terms of the kind of equipment that are in the studio compared to ours. Yeah, but yeah, it's a great place. Yeah.
Yes, I do feel like ESP here provides lots of different opportunities for us, including that perfect studio for us to do different kind of production, including sound or vocal. And so in overall in PolyU, do you feel like there should be more facilities on music production or more support for musicians? Because I do know that there are societies, music societies, PolyU arts, different societies in PolyU based for music production, do you feel like there should be more facilities or more support from the school?
You know, being a musician or a songwriter, you know, of course I'm biased in that question. So of course I would like for more support for musicians and songwriting and studios. But yeah, so yeah, but at the same time, yes, of course, yeah, that would be very nice. And to also like create a space for people to actually try something. You don't have to be someone who's been, you know, doing music for many years or learned how to play an instrument or whatever. I think it would be interesting for people to try it out, even if they're like in their 20s or whatever. Just go and try. Yeah.
I see. I would love to learn more instrument. Actually, I have a guitar, but I got stuck on C chord, which is the first chord that I should learn playing guitar, and I would love to learn it. And hopefully, I can like make a career like you in music, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you have the C chord, right? You just have to learn like 2 more chords, and then you can play 99% of all songs in the world.
Really?
So yeah.
Oh, I should learn then.
Yeah, you
I
should.
should get a lesson and really get into it because my guitar is just right in my room. It has been abandoned for a year already, and I feel sad looking at it every time when I look at it. What a pity. So, okay, so talking about Hong Kong, you're leaving in December?
Yeah, on Christmas Eve actually. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so you'll be having your Christmas dinner on the plane, right?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Oh, will you come back to Hong Kong or for
Yeah, of
performance?
course. I must. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. So have you ever think of like coming to Hong Kong for tour? Because I do know that you did Asia tour before, right?
Yeah, we played in the fall of 2019. We made a tour in South Korea, and then we were supposed to go back and play South Korea, Japan, I think Malaysia too. But then something happened called COVID-19, and yeah, there is this modern history. So yeah, but yeah, would love to come back and to play here, maybe shoot a video here. Yeah, so.
That's really great. That's a great news. You can definitely shoot here in ESP because we provide opportunities to video shooting, production, anything. You're very much welcome to come back here.
All right, thanks.
Yes. Okay, so I think here is all of my questions. So last part, do you have anything that you would like to tell the fellow musicians here in PolyU, some advice or any thoughts? Anything.
Maybe something you know that I mentioned earlier to try and have some kind of, you know, discipline and have some kind of routine, because you can't rely on inspiration coming to you. You have to come to the inspiration.
I see. So I think now it's time for our Q&A section. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and ask away. Anyone? Yes?
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Moon. And I would like to ask you about like how do you manage your time between working with your band and studying in PolyU, because you are studying BBA at PolyU, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's really hard to combine all those things, of course. So you have to, you know, develop a sense of time management and to keep track of your schedule, because sometimes things come in from, you know, from the side, and you have to adapt. So you have to have a lot of time management skills, but at the same time you have to be, you know, agile to move things around. And you have to have some sense of what to prioritize yeah. So I think it's a learning curve, and you just have to expose yourself and try to maybe do some you know, more things than you actually think that you can, because you have more hours than you think. I guess that what is it?
Procrastinating.
Yeah, procrastination is has been, you know, a friend of mine. I would almost say, not a friend, but a foe. Yeah, so it's just a constant struggle to try to have a schedule and to, you know, use time management and focus on the right things. Yeah. but it's a challenge. Yeah.
Anyone has any questions?
Good. Is it working? Hi, Richard. My name's Cedric.
Hi.
What advice would you give to fellow singer-songwriters when it comes to like trying to make it through? Yeah.
Well, first off, as I told you earlier, go to the inspiration and create those moments where you actually work with your music. That's like number one. Number two, if you want to have like a career within music, it's almost like the same approach. You can't wait for people in the industry to come to you. You have to expose yourself to them, and try to find any kind of opening and be like working like an entrepreneur. Really, you have to create openings yourself. You have to be out there. You have to market yourself in a smart way. You have to surround yourself with people that are good at what they do. Like if you have a friend that's into graphic design, if you have a friend that can build a web page, if you have a friend that's have a blog, or so you just have to be out there and create openings yourself. Yeah. Thank you.
So, any more burning questions?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the sharing. I wonder, how did you guys get signed by the record labels? Like, did you guys reach out, and like, how do you do your marketing or advertising? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that before we signed a deal with a record label, we signed a deal with the management. So we started out by engaging with managements. So we went out there. We had like a strategy to find a good manager, which, looking back at it, we've made some hits and misses on that on that side with management. But so we decided, okay, we need a manager, because a manager could help us to the next step. And if we are to negotiate with record labels or booking agents, we need someone on our side. So we didn't approach record labels or booking agents first. So we started out to find like a good manager that believed in us, and we did. And then he helped us reaching out to different booking agents and record labels. So yeah, that was our way of doing it. But I guess nothing says that you can't do it the other way around. I mean, you could send your music to an A&R at a record label. You could contact a booking agent and maybe ask that, okay, we make this kind of music, and I know that you are representing band X or band Y, and we think that we have the similar fan base like them. Are they doing a gig in Hong Kong soon where we could be an opening act? That could be a way, like trying to create a opening for you to play, and if they like you, maybe they put you on the roster too. And there was a second part to the question. I don't remember. Sorry. Yeah, we do it ourselves. We also have professional help doing that. But so there's two-sided. So like we make the content ourselves, like the visuals, like you've seen here, and we make the graphic design ourselves and stuff like that. But then maybe we sometimes use firms that are specialized in digital advertising to. Because of course we have also used advertising on Facebook or Instagram, where we pay directly to Instagram or to Facebook, but sometimes we have tried to use an intermediate, so to speak, a firm that are specialized in getting a bit more traction. Because if you come in from the side as a small player, which we are right now anyway, then maybe you don't get that much traction per dollar spent. But if you use a professional, they maybe have some tricks how to get more exposure.
Any questions? Okay.
Hello, my name is Johnny, and my first question is why did you choose PolyU as exchange student?
That's a good question. I think PolyU is one of the best schools that my home university have an agreement with, or like a exchange with. So yeah, and also I've heard so much about Hong Kong before I came here, and it's a very interesting city, and yeah, I think so. So yeah, that's the reason why I came here to PolyU. Good school and interesting place in the world. Yeah.
My second question is, as a musician, have you ever thought to drop out from university and fully dedicate yourself towards career?
Yeah. First I went to engineering school, then I dropped out because of the music, and then I came back, but studying business instead. Yeah.
Like in your future, do you want to study something related to music production or?
Maybe. I mean, I won't, close that door. I mean, that's also an opportunity. But right now, I think I've found like my place and my role within the band and within the industry. So I think that I spend my hours more wisely, just writing songs or recording vocals and touring, and yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Since you dropped out of university, what made you want to come back to study business?
That's a good question. I think I decided to go back to school for the fall term of 2020, and so the pandemic had already hit. So I think that was a contributing factor, of course. But also, like finishing a degree and have some kind of safety net, sort of, yeah, and I'm interested in business too. Like I'm engaged in a couple of other companies that are doing something completely different than music. One within gaming and one within the automotive industry. And venturing like more into to those kind of things, you really have to have like a solid understanding for business and accounting and finance and stuff like that. So yeah, I find it interesting too. So it was not only the pandemic affecting the music side, it was also my interest to venturing further into the business side. Yeah.
Any more?
Here. A great pleasure to have you here, Richard. I have two questions. First is, any plan to do a music video in Hong Kong? Because I, just like this one, I noticed that from your music videos, water, ocean, rivers, yeah, they play a very important role in your visual elements. If you were to do a music video in Hong Kong, what would be your top elements in Hong Kong? We are also, would it be the Victoria Harbour or some other elements? And the second question would be, any interest in collaborating with music-loving students here in producing music, band, or even music videos? Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. For the first question, it's actually a running gag within the band, because they always place me in some kind of water, and sometimes it's like February, March in Sweden, and it's really, really cold. So I think that's they don't have a thought behind it. They just like to see me tortured in cold water. So that's basically why we end up being in the water all the time. But yeah, I would love to shoot a video in Hong Kong. I would, and I think there are a lot of elements, like visual elements to Hong Kong, that could be captured very nicely in a video. It could be movement of a lot of people, traffic, the skyline of Hong Kong is amazing, the skyscrapers, the light, but also the nature. I mean, there are some water here, and I would prefer to go in this water in comparison to the Northern Sea. So yeah, I could. Yeah, I would definitely love to collaborate with someone here if someone's interested of doing some shoots for a music video. Yeah, and the second part of the question was, remind me again. Sorry.
Basically, you answered that, but it's about collaborations.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Would you do a call here if and the students here would love to do a snappy collaboration with Richard on producing music or video or mixing or things like that?
Yeah, I'd be open for that, of course. Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so any more? Okay, so I guess no more burning questions. Okay, so if you have anything that you would love to ask Richard personally, or if you have a collaboration idea, feel free to stay behind and talk to Richard anytime. And once again, thank you very much for all of you who came to hear today. And of course, thank you, Richard, for coming and giving us such a great inspiration, insights, sharing your experience to us. And just wanted to tell you guys more about this place. This event is a student-directed series by Exposure Studio, and ESP Exposure Studio provides amazing opportunities regarding to filming, sounds, and production. And we are very much welcome for you guys to join as a member as we are recruiting them all year round. So check out the Instagram right now. The handle is at esp.bc401. esp.bc401. If you want to know more about this place, feel free to come here anytime. And finally, go check out Janice Prix' newest single, which is Stone Love, which was released last week. Is it last week?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the music video was out yesterday. It is now available on all platforms. And I'm your host of today. I'm Eunice. And have a great afternoon. Thank you.